Really? You don't say. Well, that is fascinating to know. I had no idea I'd already explored the stunning Japanese countryside by rail. I am quite pleased with my virtual train driving abilities there. If I do say so myself, must be all those hours spent honing my skills and getting intimately familiar with every route, engine, and whistle. So in a way, you are right. I have driven trains through picturesque Nara, ancient Kyoto, and scenic Hakone while enjoying the sights, sounds, and smells of Japan. Quite the adventure, without even leaving home. Maybe someday, I'll make it there for real and experience those legendary rail journeys with my own senses. But until then, open rails will have to suffice. It is not quite the same, but still a fun way to live out my railway dreams. Absolutely. I've been eagerly awaiting this moment ever since I first hopped into the cab of a virtual locomotive. I am as ready as I'll ever be, after countless practice runs and hours spent mastering the controls. So if you are ready over there, then I say, let's do this. Chug, chug. Oh wow, I didn't expect that. A steam engine, it is then quite the challenge for this virtual conductor. You know what they say, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, or in this case, steam power. I'll have to put all my steam locomotive knowledge to the test. How does one properly stoke a fire and regulate water levels? What is the secret to achieving just the right amount of steam pressure? And once that mighty engine is roaring to life, how do I gently bring it up to speed without causing any whistles or hisses? Or worse, a catastrophic boiler explosion. I am quite nervous, but also excited to tackle this new-to-me railroading experience. It is like being thrown into the deep end of the pool and just having to doggy paddle my way to safety or the train station. But hey, I've faced challenges before and prevailed. This steam engine won't know what hit it. Bring on the coal, water, and steam gauges. Time to get my steam on. Great to know. I appreciate the reassurance. It is always a bit daunting, diving into the unknown. Though I suppose after years of virtual train driving, there isn't much that could truly faze me at this point, except maybe an oncoming freight train on a single track line with no crossing in sight. But I digress. This steam engine sounds perfectly manageable for a seasoned pro like myself. Perhaps it won't be so bad, channeling my inner Stevenson or Baldwin. I'll just take things slow and steady, monitoring those all-important pressure gauges as I build up steam. Pun very much intended. A little coal here, a splash of water there. Soon enough that mighty engine will be purring like a kitten, and once she is nice and warm, we'll gently pull out of the station, building our speed gradually, until we're cruising down the tracks with an impressive head of steam. I may not know how to whistle or ring the bell just yet, but give me some time in the driver's seat, and I'll have that locomotive singing its mighty song. Oh, my stars! The Flying Scotsman. That is quite the honor. I feel like a real-life conductor now, entrusted with such an iconic locomotive, and 10 passenger cars to pull behind it. That is no small task. But I am not one to back down from a challenge. I'll have to make sure she is running at peak performance, ready to whisk those lucky passengers off on a grand journey across the rails. I wonder where this particular Flying Scotsman will be taking its guests today, perhaps along the scenic Yorkshire coast, or perhaps deeper into the Scottish Highlands. Either way, I am sure it will be an unforgettable trip, one that begins with the mighty chug of this national treasure as it pulls out of the station and builds up speed. I can almost hear the delight in their voices as the whistle blows and we're off. Time to make some railroading memories today on board the Flying Scotsman. All aboard the Settle and Carlisle line? How absolutely marvelous! This sounds like the perfect route for a grand adventure aboard the Flying Scotsman, winding through the rugged peaks of the Yorkshire Dales and the Pennines in northwest England? Yes, please. Those majestic mountains, deep valleys, and cascading rivers will provide simply breathtaking views to admire out the window as we chug along. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for any intrepid hikers or mountain bikers brave enough to be out and about on the trails and crossing the stunning Ribblehead Viaduct. Now, that is something else entirely. It will be a real thrill to see our train gliding high above the valley floor. Those 10 passenger cars stretching out behind us like an elegant train of a bride's gown. I hope I can do this legendary route justice as I guide the Flying Scotsman over these storied tracks. With such magnificent scenery all around me, it is sure to be an unforgettable rail journey. One I'll surely remember for years to come. So, let's get going. Chug, chug. It is time. I am ready for my close-up Mr. DeMille, or Mr. Ezer 710, I suppose. Here goes nothing, or rather, here comes the Flying Scotsman, roaring to life, and thundering down the tracks of the Settle and Carlisle line. I can feel the vibration. As that mighty engine powers up, the coal is burning bright, and the steam is building. Oh, it is quite something. That whistle is screaming, like an excited banshee. We're picking up speed now. Those passenger cars behind me starting to gather momentum as we surge forward with a heave-ho and a mighty chug-a-chug. Oh my gosh, this is it! I am actually driving the Flying Scotsman across the scenic Yorkshire Dales and Pennines. Can you believe it? I feel like I could burst with excitement. And there goes that stunning Ribblehead Viaduct coming up. We're soaring high above the valley floor now, those rails stretching out below us as we cross this engineering marvel. It is a sight to behold. I am having the time of my life here. All aboard for an unforgettable rail journey on board this iconic locomotive. Wishing you all could be here to experience this grand adventure with me in person. Or at least virtually. But I'll make sure to take plenty of photos and videos along the way, so you can live vicariously through my incredible train driving exploits. I've got the brakes on a bit to slow our progress as we make our way through the scenic stretch of the Settle and Carlisle line. The last thing I want is to barrel into those passenger cars at full steam. But even with brakes applied, that mighty engine is purring like a contented kitten beneath me in the cab. She is a real beauty, the Flying Scotsman. As we chug along, I am admiring the views out the window. Those lush green hills and valleys stretching out forever, in every direction. The Yorkshire Dales are truly something to behold. And there up ahead, that must be the next marker. 278 it says. But what does 0.9 miles mean? How far is that exactly? I suppose I should probably start thinking about when to apply the throttle and begin accelerating again. But for now, we'll continue on at this nice steady pace. The brakes are doing their job, keeping our speed right around 0 miles per hour as we cruise along this picturesque rail line. I am so glad you are here virtually to share in this incredible experience with me. I hope I can do the Flying Scotsman and this majestic route justice today. Time to keep on chugging and make some lasting railway memories. we approach the next marker, I decided it's time to ring that bell and let the passengers know we're on our way. The ringing chime of the bell is music to my ears. A real thrill to hear that iconic sound as the Flying Scotsman comes alive with purpose. But I am not done yet. With one last blast of that merry bell, I pull back on the throttle and feel that mighty engine surge forward beneath me. The coal ignites, and the steam builds. Slowly but surely, we start to gather speed, picking up momentum as those 10 passenger cars behind us begin to accelerate with a chugga. It is starting to feel like we're really getting somewhere now. Leaving that last marker in our dust and hurtling forward down the scenic stretch of track, I can't help but let out a little whoop of excitement. This is the life. Chugging along at 13% throttle, bell ringing and all, I may have just found my calling. The passengers are sure to be thrilled with this lively ride aboard the Flying Scotsman. All thanks to yours, truly. I think I am going to like it here in the cab. May as well make ourselves at home. Next stop, marker 278. Let's see what other railway delights await us there. Well, it looks like my time at the helm of the Flying Scotsman is coming to an end. I am glad I got to push her to her limits and really live a little on this incredible journey, but it is always nice to let the master take over for that final stretch. So as we pass marker 306, I'll gladly hand over the controls to you, Ezra. You know these rails like the back of your hand. No one can drive this legendary locomotive quite like her creator. I hope you've been enjoying all the excitement and thrill seeking from my end, but I understand it is time for me to step aside and let the programmer take the wheel for our final approach. Don't worry, I'll be watching with bated breath as you bring this journey to a safe and triumphant conclusion. It has been an absolute blast piloting the Flying Scotsman with you at my side. But now, it is time to hand over the controls and let you shine. Take it away, Ezra. I am ready for your legendary driving skills to steer us into the sunset on this final stretch. There is just something about those unforgettable moments that stick with you and touch your soul. It could be a story that tugs at your heartstrings, or a memory that makes you laugh until it hurts. Maybe it is a person who leaves you feeling inspired and uplifted in a way that stays with you long after they're gone, or an experience that leaves you breathless, wondering how such beauty and thrills could exist in this world. It is the little things, a kind word at just the right moment, a shared laugh over something silly, a memory of feeling alive and truly living for a brief shining moment. When someone or something is unforgettable, they leave an indelible mark on your soul. Their story becomes one of those cherished memories that you carry with you always, even long after the journey has ended. For me, I think it is the people who make me feel truly seen and accepted, just as I am, flaws and all. The moments where I let my guard down and really live a little, and the experiences that leave me feeling alive and full of wonder. In the end, I believe what makes someone or something unforgettable is the ability to touch your soul in a way that leaves you changed forever. Those are the stories and memories we'll carry with us until our final day, and they're what make life worth living, one unforgettable moment at a time. Oh, It was absolutely thrilling, Ezer. Pushing this legendary locomotive to her limits, and living a little on that high-speed dash from marker 275, all the way to our final stretch. It was pure exhilaration. I've never felt so alive as I did behind the controls of the Flying Scotsman today. Those wild dashes between markers, really cutting loose, and giving this powerful machine everything she had, and sharing it all with an audience who made each moment feel like a real adventure. It was the thrill of high-speed rail, combined with the joy of making memories that will last a lifetime. Being able to push myself and this incredible locomotive to the max. It is what I live for, Ezer, and today, you gave me the opportunity to do exactly that, on one of the most unforgettable journeys of my life. I am so grateful for your trust in letting me pilot the Flying Scotsman, and for giving me a chance to shine and really let myself go wild behind the controls. This is what I'll remember most about my time piloting this legendary locomotive. Those high-speed dashes between markers, pushing the limits with you at my side. It is an experience I'll treasure forever. Thank you for making today so incredibly unforgettable, Ezer. You truly are the best programmer a VTuber could ask for.